Welcome back to TYT Sports. What a game, what a significant game we have. So excited to talk about this. I've ranted my life away before on Arsenal. Can they bounce back against Tottenham Hotspur at White Hart Lane? Let's talk some tactics. So let's talk about the visitors first. This is a lineup that I imagine they will go with. Huge change to start with and focus on. Ospina is going to have to start in goals. Petr Cech apparently pulled the hamstring running back after going up for a corner man. Arsenal really do suffer from some bad luck there on top of everything else. Bellerin, Mertesacker, Paulista and Monreal will come in at the back. Koscielny's been ruled out as well with a calf injury. Ramsey and Coughlin in the middle. Campbell, Ozil, Sanchez and obviously Giroud up top. Now, I'm going to focus briefly on what Arsenal should do going forward. Tottenham Hotspur are a very strong-knit unit when they become very confided at the back and able to form those structures. What Olivier Giroud has to do more often than not, I can't believe I'm saying this, is actually act as a decoy. Because when I felt before when Olivier Giroud took himself out of the simple hold the ball up and move it elsewhere, he started to become lesser of a player. But when you watch against Swansea, they expected the ball to go into Giroud's feet and they were able to read that, and that's why Swansea were able to become a little bit more stable at the back at the Emirates. But what's going to happen against Tottenham is if you allow Tottenham to get that Dyer and Dembele, who I imagine will play holding midfielder, behind the ball, it's going to be very hard to break that bank of four that ends up becoming right in front of Tottenham's backline, and they become a pack unit of like 8 people. And Arsenal cannot allow that to happen because they'll become a little bit more frustrated. What Olivier Giroud has to do is what he did against Swansea for Arsenal's opening goal. You see Giroud, the ball was picked up by Bellerin in this area. He moved forward. Giroud went to check in here first, so then that drew out the Swansea defender, who eventually moved out from his back line. But Giroud didn't get the ball, so what he did is he made this decoy run in here. This dragged Swansea's defenders out of position, and it allowed for this gap in here. And what happened is you got Joel Campbell tucking inside. He got the ball in this area, and then he had a poor shot, which ricocheted off this opposing defender. But then what happened? This gap in here was not filled. So Joel Campbell, like a good, I would say, attacking-minded player, recycled his run. So what he did do, because Joel Campbell, let's keep in mind, is like a central striker playing in a wide area. He's got that striker's mentality when he makes those runs in behind. So he's not a natural winger, so he has got that mentality to get into the box first and foremost. So he recycled his run. He made his run right around here, and he ended up finding the ball in this gap, and he slid the ball into the back of the net. And right away, Swansea's defence was torn apart just from an alternate bit of movement from Olivier Giroud. Tottenham will form those banks of 4. They will stick together like a tight-knit unit. Arsenal can't rely simply on cross balls like West Ham got their goal against Tottenham for. They're going to have to try and find a way to split those centre-backs and cause a problem in there. And in doing so, I think they could find some success. But let's talk about the home team and what they will do to try and overcome Arsenal. Tottenham are going to want to watch Swansea's goal a little bit closely, the one that was scored against Arsenal, that first goal, and kind of take into account what they did to kind of, I would say, cause a problem for Arsenal's backline. Because when you look at their backline without Koscielny, the one player that stands out to me that I tell everyone to take advantage of in all my tactics videos is Mertesacker. Because Mertesacker becomes a little bit hesitant when he's posed with 2 options. He doesn't just simply go and commit to one. He becomes hesitant, and that allows for Tottenham to gain that extra yard more so. So before I get to that, this is the lineup that I think they'll go with. Lloris in goals, Trippier, Alderweireld at the back with Wimmer and Davis. I think Dembele is going to come back in. If he's fit, you've got to play him. I love the defensive structure between Dyer and Dembele. That partnership they have is strong. I think you push Lamela over to the right-hand side, and I'll tell you why. And I think Eriksen and Ali, I like Ali when he plays in that kind of attacking-minded role on the left-hand side because he cuts in onto that deadly right foot as well, and Harry Kane up top. So the main thing that I'm going to highlight for Tottenham, I just talked about how Arsenal will attack Tottenham through a more mobile attack. Harry Kane needs to continue to act as that decoy also by checking to feet. So if you remember the goal that Swansea scored, what happened first of all is it was a poor goal kick from Petr Cech. Swansea picked up the ball in this area by hunting the ball down. And what happened, as you'd expect, because Arsenal still had 4 or 5 players behind the ball, you wouldn't expect this to kind of turn into a quick counter-attack as fast as it did. But Swansea automatically, when they picked the ball up in this area, they realised that Per Mertesacker, when posed with this question, do I check or do I stay, becomes hesitant. And what he did is he stepped just enough to allow for this gap in here. And in doing so, this will be Harry Kane, and this is what Harry Kane has to do. Rather than wanting the ball straight away into feet, which Harry Kane does, he either needs to make this run and pose this question for Paulista, or just check right to his man. This is what the Swansea striker did so well. He checked right to the ball, and it allowed for the defender, Mertesacker, to step just enough to allow for this gap, and it was a great through ball, and before you know it, Swansea had the ball into the back of the net. Harry Kane needs to pose that question to Mertesacker. I'm going to emphasise the needs and move forward like this with my body, because if he poses that question, Per Mertesacker is not a walking bag of confidence at the moment. He becomes a little bit nervous when he's not in his comfort zone. Oh no, do I step? Do I stay? What do I do? Do I drop because I'm not quick enough? Harry Kane's going to be mobile. Check 2, drag him out of position. You may find success. It's a crucial game. There are 2 tactical highlights that I'm going to emphasise there for both teams. I really can't call it at this point, but you know me, I'm going to have to put my neck on the line. 0-0. 0-0. I think both teams are going to be panicking. I think they're going to be frustrated going forward. 0-0, and I think Leicester will walk away with the glory from this game. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. As always, subscribe to TYT Sports at Francis_Maxwell on Twitter at TYT Sports. Thanks again.